Hello, folks. We are live once again. I wanted to play Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag because we just got done watching was it Pirates of the Caribbean, the first movie on 4K Blu-ray earlier tonight, and got me in it got me into a like a pirate mood, in the mood to be a pirate. So tonight it's gonna be our matey. We're gonna be pirates. Dan, I haven't played this game in a while, and I forgot where the hell I left off. So sneak to the fort lockup. Gonna go sneak into the fort. Going that way. I remember not liking this mission because I kept getting caught. So tonight we're not gonna get caught. Getting to there, and I don't think we. Oh yeah, here we go. Up there, but do it. Remember how I did this last time? I finished this game on the PS4 Pro, or the PS4 actually, years ago. I don't have my assassins crap yet, do I? controls in this game.
Pabuhos daw.
Sometimes discretion is the better part of valor.
Sorry about the sugar. I've only one pair of hands.
Oh, it's no great loss. I've got plenty of cargo here to make a profit on my trip.
Will you stay here long?
For a few weeks, yes. Then back to Barbados, to the tedium of domesticity.
Don't settle for tedium. Sail for Nassau. Live life as you see fit.
Haven't I heard that Nassau is crawling with pirates? Seems a very tawdry place.
Not tawdry, liberated.
Oh, God. That would be an adventure. But no, I'm a husband and a father. I have responsibilities. Life can't be all pleasure and distraction, Duncan.
Hey, our bonnet. The name's Edward, in truth. Duncan's only a handle.
Ah. Secret name for your secret meeting with the governor.
The governor, right. I think I've kept him waiting long enough.
Here. Alright, I'm back. I bought this game way back in 2015 for the PS4, and I did finish it back then. It took me about a few months to play a bunch of side missions, and I didn't 100% the game. I think I just maybe finished about 60% of it, thereabouts. But I did finish the main story, and I think I still have it on my PS4 Pro, but I just never really got back into it. As far as playing the post game parts, like after you finish the main story, doing all the extra stuff. Don't know if this game got a FPS the FPS boost on Xbox One X or the One X enhanced treatment. I don't even know if it got, because it looks choppy. Like, I think it's only 30 frames per second still. Because as I recall, Assassin's Creed 2 got the full FPS boost treatment, and that game runs pretty smooth. I have to do another stream of that game as well, because the one I did last, or a couple months ago, there's no microphone wasn't working back then, so that's the one I'm thinking of. No, I'm thinking of Valhalla. Valhalla is another one I gotta redo or continue. Right now I'm just taking my time walking through the level here because I'm actually enjoying the graphics. This game is very pretty. You can really appreciate all the work that went into it. Funny enough to get a new sword. I don't want to do that just yet. Sword shop here, right? Oh wait, no, that's a sword shop. That's pirates. You can hire them as bodyguards. Need to do that right now. I don't want a guy right now, so I don't need to get into anywhere important aside from attending. I think it's this meeting I got to do with the governor. Governor of Havana. Oh, one thing I do want to do though is get a viewpoint here. Let's do that first before. I do want to see where I need to go on the map. For those not familiar with Assassin's Creed games, or any other game by Ubisoft, or Ubisoft, however you say it, the basic tropes of these types of games, like Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, you gotta unlock the map. To view more of the map, you need to climb up these high places. Far Cry games, it's always like a radio tower or something. Assassin's Creed games, it's you find these high places, and in these games you synchronize. In the Far Cry games, you access the radio tower, and you turn on the radio tower or something, and it'll do essentially the same thing we're doing here, which once you synchronize the map, now this part of the map becomes available to us to view. It's a technique they use to prolong the game time here. It's all really, I mean, it does work. You get to see what's on this portion of the map, but I mean, you know, is it really necessary? I don't know. You do it because it's something to do, though. But here we are. This part of the map's open. There's looks like an assassin mission over here. We'll do that later. We're gonna go advance the plot here, advance the storyline.
Buenos dias. Mr. Duncan Walpole of England to see the governor. I believe he is expecting me.
Sí, señor Walpole. Entre, por favor.
Entre.
¿Ese es el hombre? ¿Cómo lo llamabas? ¿Asesino?
Sí, Duncan Walpole. Debería haber llegado hace muchos días.
No me gusta que los extranjeros se paseen por nuestra ciudad. No me fío de ellos.
Cállate. El gobernador tiene invitados. Todos franceses e ingleses. Parece un hombre rudo. Le suponía un aspecto más respetable.
Llevo meses en alta mar. Sé indulgente con él.
Yeah, I'll read it later.
Good morning, sir. Would I be correct in thinking you are Duncan?
I am indeed.
I thought as much. Woods Rogers. A pleasure.
The same.
I must say, my wife has a terrible eye for description.
I'm sorry.
My wife. You met her some years ago at the Percy's Masquerade Ball.
Ah, quite.
She called you devilishly handsome. Obviously a lie to stoke my jealousy. Julianne, our guest of honor has arrived, Mr. Duncan Walpole.
Ah. Julien Ducasse. I hope your conversion to our order is an honest one. I have no love for assassins, but even less for liars.
I have not come to disappoint.
Up for a bit of sport, Duncan? The old man isn't ready just yet.
You've got my two best pairs of matched pistols, Duncan, so handle them with care.
If I had 8, I'd treat each as my own son.
Pull off a few shots if you like, get a feel for it.
I once fought beside a man who carried 9 on his person. They were a boom in battle, but hindered his ability to swim, sadly.
Quite. Had a good kick, yes?
I long for the day where one firearm carries 4 bullets, and not the opposite.
I have a friend in England you may like to meet, Julian. James Puckle. He's working on something extraordinary.
Magnifique.
All right, try to strike every target before this hourglass empties. Remember, hit every target within the allotted time. Ah, bad luck. Try again. All right. Here's a simple challenge. Try to strike every target before this hourglass empties. Remember, hit every target within the allotted time. Ah, bad luck. Try again.
Duncan, where are your wrist blades? I've never seen an assassin so ill-equipped.
Ah, damaged sadly beyond all repair.
Uh-huh. Have your choice.
Where did you find all these?
I did not find them. I took them. Is a souvenir. Two blades, as is the custom, oui?
Custom, aye.
Duncan, will you indulge us with a demonstration of your techniques?
Well,
You must. We put together a training course in anticipation of your arrival. It would be a shame to leave here without seeing you in action.
yes, of course. Well, I mean, if there is time, I would gladly, show you what I know.
Here. You see? Situations well suited to your skills.
Have a go. A blade in a crowd is always the simplest. Nothing grandiose, just quick and clean.
Show us another technique.
Quite ingenious to use bales of hay for cover, don't you think?
Supongo que todo forma parte de la vida misma.
God, that's the spirit. Secrecy. The advantage of surprise cannot be overstated, isn't that so? Especially around a blind corner. God blind me, that's a clever trick.
Your aerial kills have a poetic beauty, despite their conspicuous quality. Would you show us?
Suerte. Dios me estará gastando. Broma pesada.
Magnifique. Is it also possible to deliver a killing blow at high speed? Mon Dieu, such a powerful strike!
Fascinating.
The assassins have trained you well, Duncan. You chose a perfect time to leave them behind.
At great risk, I imagine. Betraying the assassins is never good for one's health.
Well, neither is drinking liquor, but I am drawn to its dangers all the same. And what is your business here, sir? Are you an associate of the governor's, or a pending acquaintance like myself?
Guns, blades, cannons, grenados. Anything that may kill a man, I am happy to provide.
A smuggler of sorts.
And how is your wife these days, Captain Rogers? Is she, here, in Havana?
I trust she's well, but I wouldn't know. I've been in Madagascar some 14 months hunting pirates. It took some work to dislodge the criminals there, but we managed it. In future, I hope to use these same tactics throughout the West Indies.
And how did you deal with that kind?
Very simply. Most pirates are as ignorant as apes. I merely offered them a choice. Take a pardon and return to England penniless, but free men. Or be hanged by the neck until dead.
Oh. I imagine Nassau would be your next target.
Very astute, Duncan, indeed.
Best of luck with that.
Grandmaster Torres! Mr. Duncan Walpole has arrived.
See. You were expected 1 week ago.
Apologies, Governor. My ship was set upon by pirates. We were scuttled. I arrived only yesterday.
Unfortunate. Forgive my caution, but were you able to salvage from these pirates the items you promised me?
Yes, sir, I was.
Increíble. The assassins have more resources than I had imagined, but not nearly enough to deter us. It is a pleasure to meet you at last, Duncan. You are most welcome. Come, gentlemen. We have much to discuss. Convened at last, and in such continental company. England, France, Spain, citizens of sad and corrupted empires. But you are Templars now, the secret and true legislatures of the world. Please, hold out your hands. Mark and remember our purpose. To guide all wayward souls till they've reached the quiet road. To guide all wayward desire till impassioned hearts are cool. To guide all wayward minds to safe and sober thought. By the Father of Understanding's light, let our work now begin. Decades ago, the Council entrusted me with the task of locating in these West Indies a forgotten place our precursors once called the Observatory. See here. Look upon these images and commit them to memory. They tell a very old and important story. For 2 decades now, I have endeavored to locate this observatory, a place rumored to contain a tool of incredible utility and power. It houses a kind of armillary sphere, if you like. A device that would grant us the power to locate and monitor every man and woman on Earth, whatever their location. Only imagine what it would mean to have such a power. With this device, there would be no secrets among men, no lies, no trickery. Only justice, pure justice. This is the observatory's promise, and we must take it for our own.
Do we know its whereabouts?
We will soon. For in our custody is the one man who does, a man named Roberts, once called a sage.
It has been 45 years since anyone has seen a true sage. Can you be sure this one is authentic?
We are confident he is.
The assassins will come for him.
Indeed they will. But thanks to Duncan and the information he has delivered, the assassins won't be a problem for much longer. All will be made clear tomorrow, gentlemen, when you meet the sage for yourselves. Until then, let us drink. Let us find the observatory together. For with its power, kings will fall, clergy will cower, and the hearts and minds of the world will be ours.
I forgot to pickpocket all the Templars.
Rest well, Duncan. Tomorrow the treasure fleet arrives, and with it, your reward. After which we will discuss further schemes.
I look forward to it.
Excelente. Meet me down at the docks first thing tomorrow morning.
Governor Torres requests your presence at the docks near the Castillo. First thing tomorrow morning.
Some context is in order here. I did not start this game from the beginning. It was a same game I already had that I was already working on. But what happened was Pirate you're playing as he was marooned on an island with an assassin who the guy whose name is Duncan. And anyway, your character ended up killing that guy, and so he assumed the identity of the assassin that he killed, and that's why he's here in Havana, meeting with the governor and those other two guys, because oh, here. Getting some weapons.
Sea bienvenido.
I have enough to get any anyway. Like I don't.
Bien, hasta otra.
And that's all I remember about the plot of this game. That I finished the game about 7 years ago already, but kind of forgot the plot was about. So if you play this game already, then you already know the whole story, I guess. Or if you finish the game already.
Good morning, Duncan.
Go.
Good morning, Duncan. Just over here.
Edward? Hello, Edward. I found a man to purchase my remaining sugar. Huh? Quite a coup, I must say.
He just called you Edward.
Oh, that's the merchant who sailed me here. Out of caution, I gave him a false name.
Ah, well done.
We'll catch
Fine,
up on it later.
Very punctual, Duncan. This way. Here he is. A man both Templars and Assassins have sought for over a decade. I am told your surname is Roberts. Is this so? You recognize this, I think.
According to old tales, the blood of a sage is required to enter the observatory.
We have the key. Now we need only its location. Perhaps Mr. Roberts will be eager to provide it. Transfer him to my residence.
Such a fuss over one man. Is the observatory really such a grand prize?
Sí, sin duda. The observatory was a tool built by the precursor race. Its worth is without measure.
Precursor race? I see.
One of your early letters mentioned a desire to kill the Mayan mentor, Atabay. Were you able to carry out this contract before coming here?
I was not, no. Too many complications along the way.
A pity. But the maps you delivered with the blood vial will see that job finished.
Aye. That's the idea.
I don't like this route, Torres. We're exposed.
Something is wrong. Stay close, Grandmaster.
I feel it too. Do not let them get their hands on the sage, at whatever cost.
Assassins! Above! They're on the rooftops!
Watch the streets and alleys. They could be anywhere.
Ay, señor. No hace mucho que he muerto.
Stop him!
You're a nimble one, I'll give you that. Hang back and make this easy on both of us, mate. Stop, or I'll kneecap you!
Well done, lapdog.
Quiet.
We'll see him to the prisons, Grandmaster.
Double the watch.
Well, I'll be buggered. What an active day we've had, gents.
See, beset on all sides by our enemies. We must be more cautious.
I do wish I could remain to see our drama done, but I must avail myself of these winds and sail for England.
By all means, Captain, speed and fortune to you.
With luck, I'll return myself a governor. And with my idiot king's blessing, no less. Adios.
As for you, Mr. Walpole, I consider this the first payment in a long-term investment. Gracias.
Obliged.
I would like you to be present for the interrogation tomorrow. Call around noon.
Yes, sir.
Gave me pretty good. About $1,500, I think. 1,500 coin. Safe to say. Let's open up some more of the map here. As in, why not? The Basilica Menor de San Francisco de Aces. I pronounced that wrong. Dominating presence on Havana's Plaza de San Francisco, the Basilica Menor de San Francisco de Aces dates from 1580s. Originally a statue of St. Francis of Assisi stood atop the bell tower, but this was blown off in a cyclone in 1846. Baroque features were added to the basilica in 1730. This, the Castillo San Salvador de la Punta, part of a system of fortifications built to protect Havana Bay from incursions by French corsairs. The fortress was begun in 1590 and took decades to complete. The fortress is close enough to the nearby Castillo Moro to permit a heavy iron chain to be extended between them. It could be tightened to block incursions by enemy ships. Cathedral of Havana. Construction of the Cathedral de la Virgen María de la Concepción Inmaculada de la Habana was started in 1748 and finished in 1777. A mesmerizing example of Baroque aesthetics, the building's obvious asymmetry and curious construction material, coral taken from the ocean nearby, make this one of the most unique houses of worship in the world, and one of the most iconic landmarks in the West Indies. Note, as much as I love this building, truly music set in stone, we simply cannot use it. 1748 is far too late for this virtual experience. Around 1720, it would be a small, rough church rising from drained swampland. Sorry. Note, what? We're selling climbable buildings. We'll fudge dates. Note, I am not on board with fudging dates. Note, here at Abstergo Entertainment, beauty before truth. Not for us, John Keats and his tiny odes. Truth is beauty, beauty is truth. People want to see landmarks. Note, however you justify it, shorten the damn name. I don't know. Governor's Mansion. The Governor's Mansion housed the acting Spanish governor in addition to prison facilities. A new governor's mansion was constructed across the square in 1791. Governor's Prison. As colonial governments expanded their duties in the West Indies, they often operated in an ad hoc manner. As a result, the improvised use of fortifications as a governor's residence or as a town prison was not unusual. Hold on a second. Alrighty. Up there to unlock the map. The tall building. Leap of faith. And I has 5 viewpoints. I gotta perform more assassinations, terror assassinations, obtain enemies from hiding places, 3 assassin contracts. Down here. Cool thing about these Assassin's Creed games is that you can spend hours wandering around doing assassin shit. You also gotta collect these, sea shanties. Sea shanties are... They are... songs that your crew sings. As you can see there, what it's explaining to you.
God sink me for this pittance. 1,000 reals for those maps. That's what? £100 at most. How's a man supposed to become rich in these times with a miser like Torres running the world?
Have you ever worked on a plantation before?
You know what I'm thinking? I'd like to see this observatory the governor's going on about. He said it were like a device that could follow people around and show where they were.
A ludicrous idea. Imagine my wife with such an advantage over me.
And imagine what a thing like that'd be worth. Sell that to the right person and I'd be the richest pirate. Privateer in the West Indies. I'll catch you up on it. There's a sage in that house I must speak to in private.
Like Rambo shit. boss. I didn't loot these other guards when I killed them, so I'm gonna go back and take us up here. Shit. Well, that, and I don't remember I killed them. So. Those aren't guards, those are just... What is it? Trying to avoid all combat situations. Looks like I filled that one.
¡Alto ahí! ¡Tú, vuelve aquí ya! ¡Cobarde! ¡Vuelve aquí! ¡Se va! Me rindo. No veo nada.
Very much money around to do that.
Haciendo pasar canutas. Ya he tenido que limpiarle las botas 2 semanas. Y me está cobrando intereses.
Get to him. Jump to both of these guys at the same time. If I can do it. A lot of sneaking around in this game. There for a bit. Who's that guy?
Basta ya!
Uh-oh.
What is your true name, rogue? It's, Captain Pissoff.
Bien que pauvre paysan. Where is the sage? Did you set him free?
I had nothing to do with that. Much as I wish I did.
Take him to the ports. Send him to Sevilla with the treasure plate.
Oh, wait now! I delivered your treasures, didn't I?
You did, yes. But you robbed us of Duncan Walpole.
Uh-oh. Busted.
A despicable display. This tosspot is a ruined man, Caroline. Unfit for life on land, much less at sea. If he goes to the West Indies, it's you who'll suffer.
Father! Father! Come, love. Up with you now.
That old muckworm! He's wrong about me!
I hope it's so.
You believe me, don't you? Can you not see me? Standing out there on the deck of a ship that's sliding into port. And there I am, a man of quality. With 1,000 doubloons spilling from my pockets. Like drops of rain. I can see it.
La cena. Cómetela rápido.
You
You hungry?
Now what's your plan, mate?
Find the weapon and steal a ship.
Que Dios nos ayude. No me gusta la pinta de esa tormenta que se acerca.
Parece que se está desviando al oeste, hacia el Golfo. Quizá estemos a salvo.
Watch this guy's movements. First one. Dead.
Soldier!
Unlucky lads.
¡Se está yendo!
Christ, the seas are uneasy today.
Hurricane coming!
Hurricane? Jesus.
Jesus.
¡Sacaré las tripas! ¡Allí está! ¡Ah! ¡Ahí! ¡A por él!
Deliver the coup de grace. Or the coup de grace. Buddy here, what's the name?
We're stealing a brig. Hey, take what you need.
Won't be a minute.
There's many prisoners held on these ships. Set them free, and they'll sail with us, no question.
Take care of business.
So that's the idea then. Free what men we can, then find a fast ship to flee it.
Aye, there's a brig in this fleet. I'll make my way to it.
¡No nos rendimos fácilmente!
Oh no.
¡Para! Tengo una pregunta para ti.
These last few guys here.
¡Vuelve aquí! ¡Mierda!
Come on. No! Yeah, I'm never been a fan of the
So that's the idea then.
controls.
Free what men we can,
Oh,
then
look, I
find a
killed all
fast
the guys. I
ship
gotta
to
kill
flee
him
in.
again.
Aye, there's a brig in this fleet. I'll make my way to it.
¡Quédate donde estás! ¡Detenedlo ya! ¡No le deis tregua!
Might as well.
So that's the idea then. Free what men we can, then find a fast ship to flee in.
Aye, there's a brig in this fleet. I'll make my way to it.
¡Rápido! ¡Se está escapando!
¡Alto!
¡Eso ni lo sueñes, canalla! ¡Que no se mueva! Te crees muy rápido, ¿eh? No eres tan rápido. ¡Disparadle por el flanco!
Well, I could have done that better, but oh, you know. No. Some prisoners, shall we?
There's a catch to this favor. You're sailing with me.
I'd follow you to hell for this, mate.
Ya deberíamos haber hecho la mitad de la ruta a las Bermudas.
Oro, plata, jade, blanco, lo que se te ocurra.
Y agua.
Come on, lads. If we're to drown today, it won't be here.
Preparaos para partir. Casi tenemos encima la tormenta. ¿Y qué pasa con los prisioneros? Que se ahoguen. Mejor ellos que nosotros.
¡Alto claro! ¡No te escaparás! ¡Vuelve aquí! ¡Cogedlo! ¡Está a tiro! ¡Hemos dicho que sales! ¡Te vas a perder!
There's a brig nearby just waiting for us to take her.
¡Quieto ahí!
¡No lo dejéis escapar!
start at the very back of the ship and kind of work our way forwards. Sorry if I'm quiet tonight, I'm just really engaged in this game. This game is so cool. I had forgotten how cool this game is. Captain.
Tú, detente. ¡Alto! ¡Quiero aprender a infierno! ¡Alto ahí! ¡Vuelve ahora mismo! No escaparás fácilmente. Listo para sangrar.
This guy. There it is.
Voy a ir a lo más alto. Esto es una locura.
Cálmate, no pasará nada. En unos minutos partiremos.
¡Más rápido! ¡No debemos perderlo!
This game doesn't let you crouch like Assassin's Creed's. There's another game I have that I do want to live stream soon. A game called Darkness. There's Darkness 1 and Darkness 2. They both came out on Xbox 360. I owned up both of them. I haven't touched the Darkness 2 yet, but I have played a bit of the first Darkness game, and that game is fantastic. I don't know how the hell it got past me when it first came out, but yeah, that game is the shit. It's definitely one I want to do a live stream on here. So many awesome games out there, and you gotta pick and choose wisely. The only reason I did this one was because of,
Be ready.
again, because I watched Pirates of the Caribbean earlier this evening, and, yeah. Inspiration, man.
Lay aboard, lads!
Save your singing for Davy Jones, you jagabats! It's a hard wind coming!
The man speaks true. You lot weigh anchor. As for the rest, half on the foremast and half at the main. Let's outrun this hurricane. Watch on those galleons. See they don't give us trouble.
They won't. Far too slow for this weather.
Ready to fire, sir!
We're bound to the ship, can we?
Bark any orders you think wise, mate. We're up against it here.
These men know their place. They'll see us home.
Fire! I got us covered! Race! Almost ready! Race!
Careful, Captain! She fires many volleys! Careful, Captain! Look out, man!
I see it.
Rogue waves can be devastating for your ship. Face them up front to get no damage. You fail to face them, hold X and brace yourself to do some damage. Right.
Incoming fire!
Take some damage here! Fire quickly, sir! Do not underestimate!
They are firing, sir!
Captain!
We're holding!
Water spout! Steer clear of that thing!
Uh-oh.
Water spout, man! Stay away!
It's not looking good.
Steady as she goes, man!
Waves to starboard!
Right into it. Thing is really old, but the graphics are still impressive. Even today.
Reef the topsails and gallants!
By God, we pulled this one straight from the teeth of Neptune. I'm Edward. Much thanks for your aid back there.
Adewale.
Ever been to Nassau, Adewale?
Not yet.
By God, she took some knocks, didn't she? I think I'll keep her.
All hands aft, lads. We're taking this one home.
Like a good stopping point. Yeah, so pretty good return to this game. I really hadn't played much of it since I first got it, or this version, the Xbox version, like a couple years ago. I think I bought it for the Xbox back in 2020 or 2019. One of those. I mean, I have played the game before. I have finished the game before on the PS4. Way back in like 2016, I think it was when I finished it. And I have it for the PC as well. I just never really got back into it until, well, just now. I mean, you guys watched me get back into it. This is still probably probably my favorite Assassin's Creed game is this one. Because it's not really an Assassin's Creed game per se. It's more of a pirate game with Assassin's Creed plot surrounding it. You're not an actual assassin. You're just kind of assuming the role of one, I guess would be a good way of putting it. You're more of a pirate with assassin like fighting skills and things like that. But I mean, this one is, even to this day, it's still a masterpiece for any kind of pirate game, or even any kind of Assassin's Creed game. A lot of folks consider this one the best of all of them, just because you have so much freedom to do what you want, and you know, as far as the ship battles are concerned, I mean, this one's still got the most immersive ship battles. As far as the Assassin's plot, I mean, it's still one of the better ones. Probably not as good as, say, my favorite Assassin's Creed plot was, to this day, it's still Assassin's Creed 3. Even though that one also at the same time is arguably one of the worst Assassin's Creed games as far as the controls and the gameplay itself is concerned. It was really easy to mess up, to do the wrong thing while you're controlling the main character in the game in Assassin's Creed 3. Whereas on the flip side of the coin, this one, the controls are for the most part much better than Assassin's Creed 3. I remember when I finished Assassin's Creed 3, the ending was so frustrating because the controls, you spent more time like fighting the controls than you were like fighting the enemies in the game. And I was really happy when this one came out. It was like the complete opposite. It was so much easier to play. It was more streamlined. You had more options available to you as far as what your guy could do. And yeah, it was really this one's really just an instant classic. And plus, who doesn't love pirates? Pirates are so awesome. I mean, that Pirates of the Caribbean movie I was watching earlier, the first one's the only one, in my opinion, that had an actual, like, you know, pirate story to it. The other Pirates of the Caribbean movies were more about just Captain Jack being Captain Jack and more like a quest, whatever, and having all these weird like villains and whatnot. Whereas the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie was just a pirate movie, and that was it. I mean, it had a cool plot to it too, about the curse and everything, but it was still at its heart a pirate movie, and that's what made it so great. Overall, the rest, in my opinion, but But yeah, that was my inspiration for playing this game tonight, was Pirates of the Caribbean. Just watching it got me in a mood to be a pirate and everything like that. And the first thing I thought of was this game. This game and the other game I already live streamed was Sid Meier's Pirates. And I almost played that one again just because I'm continuing a save game on that one. But instead I chose this one just because I haven't played this game in so long, and I wasn't, starting from the very beginning. This is more like just a continuation, which inspires me to continue the game even further later on. Maybe another live stream I'll do later. I'll probably tackle this one again. But I mean, that was it. Yeah, I just wanted to catch up with y'all again and stream a older game that I had kind of forgotten about. I do have some new games lined up. I'm probably gonna maybe I'll start one later here, but I just wanted to get this one onto my Twitch channel and onto the YouTube channel as well, just to get her done, just to get her on board. But yeah, I'm probably gonna call it quits right here. This is like a good stopping point. I just went through the long tutorial. I got my ship now. I got my crew, so now the game could really start. And later on, when when you come back to this game, I'll actually have a good starting point, to really get some pirating going on. So, but yeah, I'm gonna call it quits right here. But yeah, it. Thanks for if you're watching. Thanks for watching. If you're gonna watch later, well, thanks for watching later. Please, if you're on my YouTube channel, please please subscribe. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything. Try to fine tune everything and to get my computer live streaming up and running. I believe I solved the audio issue on the computer. I'll probably be doing some more PC games here pretty soon. Yeah, if you're on board on the YouTube channel, please, as they say, please, smash that like button, hit the bell and subscribe and all that good stuff. And, thanks for watching. Folks are awesome, and I'm always having fun, trying to entertain you as best as I can. But y'all take it easy, have a good night, and I will talk to you soon. I am out of here.